Hi, I'm Commissioner Nancy Jester, and welcome to Nancy Jester Reports for Tuesday, May 3rd, 2016. I'd like to start by making an announcement that this Saturday on the 7th of May from 10 to 12, there will be a cleanup day at Brannon Hill Condo Community. You will recall that that is the community that has a lot of issues with dumping, garbage being strewn everywhere. We've got half burned out buildings. There's a lot of issues, and there of course is some legal issues going on where the county's trying to get official permission from the court system to be able to go in and remediate some of the problems at Brannon Hill. But if you're available, come on down to Brannon Hill this Saturday from 10 to 12 and help them clean up, because residents are trying to do some of the work on their own. I applaud them for that. So let's all show some support. Again, that's at Brannon Hill this Saturday, the 7th. So today we had our Committee of the Whole meeting, which is where we get presentations and go over our agenda in preparation for next week's board meeting where we'll actually vote. So we had some interesting presentations. Dr. Ford came and gave us the 2015 Status of Health report from the Department of Health. So that was very interesting. DeKalb has twice the homicide rate of the state of Georgia. So certainly we need to deal with the epidemic of violence in certain parts of our community, as well as some of the other health issues that we see in DeKalb County. I'll try and get her presentation posted so you can see it. It was interesting, had a lot of interesting statistics. We received a very robust presentation about the potential SPLOST, that's the Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax referendum that the county is looking to bring to the voters in November. So we've not officially approved that referendum or a list of projects for that. But in preparation for that, the CEO and the Commission did put together a citizens advisory panel to go through and look at all the projects that could be on a potential SPLOST from all the different departments, from roads and drainage to parks to fire, police, and others, libraries. So they went through the list and they voted not really on the overall list, but they sort of went project by project. So a list came together, and then a presentation was made today from the administration about what they see as what should be the SPLOST list. And perhaps the most interesting thing to come out of that was this particular slide, and we'll post this and certainly send this around, which says that of the 5 independent commission districts, there's 7 districts, but 2 are super districts, but there's 5 individual districts. District 1 would look to receive 1.9% of SPLOST potential SPLOST project expenditures on this slide. District 2, 9.2%, District 3, 37%, District 4, 8.2%, and District 5, 43.7%. So, and let's keep in mind that the county does have countywide functions in every district. For instance, the library system is run by the county. Fire stations, except in City of Decatur, are run by the county, and everyone in District 1 then pays the fire millage rate. So you're paying the millage rate for that service. You're certainly paying sales taxes that then fund a potential SPLOST. You would pay an extra penny for that. And so, but District 1 is only allocated 1.9% of the projects. And what's even more interesting is that on the list, if you go through certain projects that were on the list but then got pulled off, were things that included anything even in cities that in District 1 that still use DeKalb for their services. For instance, the new city of Tucker will use DeKalb County for their roads and drainage. They're not taking over that particular service, so they pay that millage rate. Yet, a streetscape project, a phase 2 of it, is removed from the list. Let's see. What was also interesting was projects, some safety projects in unincorporated North DeKalb, in the Pleasantdale area for sidewalk or for pedestrian crossings on Pleasantdale Road, which can be quite treacherous and dangerous, have been removed from the project, as well as Fellowship Road sidewalks in Tucker, and another Pleasantdale Road project, and a Chamblee Tucker project. And these are in areas that are in unincorporated DeKalb, so they're not even in a city, so that's kind of interesting. And then when you look at the other thing that really caught my eye was fire stations, because again, the fire stations, the fire service is provided throughout the county. Citizens in District 1 and throughout the county, except the city of Decatur, pay the millage rate for fire services. You're paying into that bucket, because remember, your millage rate is not one number, it's a whole summation of little buckets based on the services you receive. So if you're in unincorporated DeKalb, you're paying all of the buckets. If you are in incorporated DeKalb in a city, you're going to pay for the bucket that you're getting services from. So everyone pays the general fund, because that's the courts and the sheriffs and the libraries and so on. But if you don't get police services from DeKalb, you don't pay that. But if you get fire services, you pay into that bucket. And same is true with roads and drainage and parks and rec and so on. So District 1 certainly pays into the, it certainly receives services for fire and certainly pays that millage rate. But yet the fire stations in District 1 were removed. Fire Station 5 and Fire Station 12, which were on the top of the list. Not the top one, but they were close on the top of the list of stations that need to be replaced. They're completely removed. So that's a problem. So you know, the thought that there could be such a disparity is troubling. Certainly, the majority of roads and drainage issues that need to be funded by SPLOST are not going to accrue to District 1 to the municipalized areas, except Tucker. But certainly Dunwoody and Brookhaven and Chamblee do handle those. But Dorville and Tucker use the county for that. So I think that we need to take a look at that list again from that standpoint. It can't be that Commission District 1 is at 1.9%, especially given the robust nature of sales tax collections in District 1. It may, in fact, be the greatest donor of sales tax money for any SPLOST. And let's review. SPLOST, this particular SPLOST is coming in November if it's approved from the Board of Commissioners, so we'll see if it makes it out of the Board of Commissioners. If it does, it would be put on your November ballot, and it would take you from 7 cents to 8. So that's a big jump. When you think about the taxation structure relative across the jurisdictions, when you look at what's going on in Atlanta and so on, and keep in mind the school board is going to be asking you for an eSPLOST renewal in May, and of course they're providing you no project list at all. So that will be interesting to see how that referendum goes. So watch your pocketbooks, Mr. and Ms. DeKalb, because you could be spending a lot more money in taxes. Let's see, in addition to that particular presentation, which was important, a few other things of note. We will be voting on a community development block grant, which is essentially federal funds going to a park in Dorville, and that's pursuant to a 2015 year agreement. So that's kind of just bringing that to fruition. Also, the going ahead and funding the water main replacement for Chamblee Dunwoody Phase 2. That is in the city of Dunwoody. So the county basically enters into intergovernmental agreements with the cities. So the cities do all the work and the counties oversee their component of it. If it's the water line replacement, they oversee that. The city may be doing repaving on top of it. And so rather than have multiple people working in the jurisdiction, just have one, and the county goes ahead and expenses that money to the city. So that's previously negotiated on, and this would just be the expending of that. So those were some of the main issues that we covered. This weekend and into Monday, I had the pleasure of attending the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia's conference, and we're required to get training as county commissioners, so I was down there doing that this past weekend. And I wanted to note that I did take the ethics class for ACCG, and so I'll get credit for that. That is a full day's class on ethics in state law and the multitude of issues that can come up while you're serving as an elected official in government. Also, I took the Public Works and Transportation Continuing Education class, which was very helpful actually, and so I look forward to bringing back that training to the commission here. I learned quite a bit, and I look forward to sharing some of those things with you. I think it'll make me more effective and be able to advocate more knowledgeably about public works and transportation issues for DeKalb County. I also took a continuing ed, a smaller class on cities and how counties and cities can work together, and that was interesting, a little bit controversial. Some people had some concerns about the way some of the city lights have formed, so that was a very interesting class. So I'll see if I can write some blogs about that too in the future to just give you some information, particularly about public works. There was a lot I learned there. So with that, I'll close this Nancy Jester Reports, but stay tuned for next Tuesday when we actually vote on these issues and other things come up as well. So see you Saturday at Brandon Hill. Check my website out for my calendar. That's nancyjester.com. Stay in touch on social media and let me hear from you. And otherwise, I will see you next Tuesday.